Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's time for Hollywood on the Rocks, a very special Hollywood on the Rocks, the return of the D-Files. Yes, Alan has some shocking revelations to share, plus early reviews of films like Megalopolis, Saturday Night, and more. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Let's go. Alan Ng is waiting in the wings. I like to say that because it rhymes, of course. So let's do this. Let's go. Let's start the show. Where is he?
Alan, I've been looking for you myself. Alan.
Finally.
By the way, I don't know if we can see the jazzercise thing. No, I'm just saying that they really have to work at your face hard to make it look pretty.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right,
yeah.
Okay,
there you go. There we go. There's our back. Hey,
and Wonder Woman got old. Who knew?
Oh my God, I saw that video. That is no fun.
It's like my dreams.
Oh my God,
my dreams are dying every day.
We have news stories before we get to the D-Files. That's our top story. But we have a lot of smaller news stories. And we've also got, I want to remind people that the Film Threat Shop has had a makeover. And we've got our election collection. It is here. Vote Film Threat, vote Ng. We've got our new Drinker's Choice collection here. Even got here. Check this out, Alan. Check this out. We have glasses. You see this? Can you see that?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at that.
Hollywood on the Rocks. I
gotta go full screen here. Go full screen. Here you go. Hollywood on the Rocks. Look at that. I got
that bourbon.
Honestly, it's tea. It's tea. It's not bourbon. I'm not doing that. But go to shop.filmthreat.com. Don't worry. I'll do the banners at the bottom. Don't worry about me.
No, I'm prepping the show.
You're prepping limited edition election collection. Go to shop.filmthreat.com and support what we do. So there you go. There we are. Now, let's see who's here. Let's say hi to some folks. Ready? Here we go. Alan,
let's see, Christopher, Moonlight Productions. Time for some film threats on my drive home. Do you guys have any thoughts on the James Cameron / Michael Bay AI comments floating around after Cameron got appointed to the Open AI board?
I don't have any comment because I have not seen what they said.
Yeah, me neither.
So we, Christopher, if you would put a link in there or we can find it, we might have time to comment during the show. We'll see. But thank you for that. Always love when you listen, you add to the show, as does the whole chat.
All right, Solomon Thornton. Hey, everyone. Hey, Solomon. Let's see. Okay, Justin Cook. Alan. Doesn't sound right coming from me. Sean Z, I made it on time. God, I love Alan. And so does he.
I love it. Wait a sec. I love how there's no comments about people loving me. It's only the Alan comments make it in.
Yeah, I think people have come to realize I'm the nice one. Narf Metmon, finally, our daily dose of jelly donuts.
All right. And finally,
from Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch, shop.filmthreat.com.
Yes, and another reminder, as a member, we do giveaways and special videos only for members. Last night, I saw the film A Different Man that had a Q&A with Sebastian Stan, which was awesome. So it's like a 30-minute Q&A with the director of that movie. We will talk about that soon. I think it's going to be one of the movies that will be in contention for Oscars. A very might be the weirdest comedy I've seen this year, along with The Substance.
Yeah.
Not quite level of The Substance, but definitely on the level of weirdness.
Yeah. Trailers
for sure. So, and you haven't seen it yet.
I will be seeing it tomorrow. But I did see another Oscar contender last night.
What was that?
That would be The Wild Robot.
Oh, I hear it's very good.
It's very good. I wouldn't say it's great. I was talking about this earlier, but I don't know that I'd say it's great, but it's very good. And I think it's the animation, the cartoons that we've been wanting for a while.
Really? I've heard also that people cried during it.
Yes. I got a little teary-eyed near the end.
I hear someone said bring tissues.
Yeah. I bring your kids. There are a lot of kids in my screening, and they were all over this movie. A lot of adults, just just it's loaded with cuteness.
Now, why don't you let me know when you're going to a screening? Say, hey, I'll be up in your area.
I wasn't. This is in Orange County. In fact, I met a couple of our viewers there. So yeah, like Jason, it was in Orange County.
All right. Well, look, if you're up in this area, will you let me know?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't believe you.
Well, I'm seeing a different man in Orange County. I'm not even trying to go back for that.
All right. Hey, James Cameron joins Board of Stability AI in coup for tech firm. From the Hollywood Reporter. Let me put up the story. The story's in the private chat. Let me bring it up here so we can read it. If you would bring that up, Alan, you can read it to us.
Yeah.
The director says that the intersection of generative AI and CGI image creation is the next wave of film technology, as he joins the company behind the popular Stable Diffusion AI model. If you would read the story to us, I know you have a special font you like to use. Give us the highlights here.
Sure. In a major coup for artificial intelligence company Stability AI, James Cameron will be joining the board of directors. Stability AI is a firm that develops Stable Diffusion, text-to-image generative AI, and image-to-video focused model that is among those closely watched by many in Hollywood. In fact, Stability AI CEO is no stranger to the business, having previously served as the CEO of visual effects film Weta. Let's see. As a director, Cameron has been long eager to push the boundaries of what is technologically possible in filmmaking. Anyone who has seen the Terminator franchise knows that he is also familiar with the pitfalls of technology run amok. He was among the earliest directors to embrace the potential of computer-generated visual effects, and he continues to use his films, most recently Avatar, The Way of Water, to move the entire field forward. I've spent my career seeking out emerging technologies that push the very boundaries of what's possible, all in the service of telling incredible stories, Cameron said in a statement. I was at the forefront of CGI for over 30 years, and I've stayed on the cutting edge since. Now the intersection of generative AI and CGI image creation is the next wave. The convergence of these two totally different engines of creation will unlock new ways for artists to tell stories in ways that could never have been imagined. Stability AI is posed to lead this transformation. I'm delighted to collaborate with Sean, Prem, and the Stability AI team as they shape the future of all visual media. He's on board.
He's on board with AI. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, if you look at the Avatar movies, they're fine for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're fine for what they are. But you can't make an Oppenheimer, with AI. You can't make name another Barbie from last year.
But I think if anything, you could make an Oppenheimer with AI versus everything else. Just to create a nuclear blast, I would think that AI would nail that in an instant. But at the same time, I think the more we talk about it, the more we find ourselves kind of caught in the middle of this debate. I think we see the possibilities of it, but we also see the dangers, especially when it comes to jobs and the economy that AI can bring or tear down with its existence.
Well, one of the comments I remember from Cameron this is a years old quote. I'm paraphrasing, but he said it's not that we can't do things in using CG. We lack the imagination for how it can be used, right? So his whole thing was CG, computer graphic effects, can do anything, but we need imaginative writers to be able to use it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I think the problem I find with AI is that it stunts creativity because it's being creative for you. And I think that's where the biggest problem is. If I could just type in a couple sentences and get a nuclear blast, then where's the creativity in that? Where's me wanting to create a realistic event as detailed as possible? And if I can type in a couple sentences, have it done, and then push it out, where's the creativity at that moment? Where's the art at that moment?
Well, also you have there's a term called happy accidents. Something happens on a film set that's in art. Happy accidents is a term. Well, I think back to if the great scientist Seth Brundle. You know who that is? Seth Brundle said, "Computers are stupid. They only do what you tell them." That's a quote from The Fly. That's Seth Brundle is. Anyways.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He probably stole it from Asimov.
Computers are stupid. They only do what you tell them. And that's the issue. I think, actors, my experience working with actors, they always elevate and make things better than what's on the page. When you work with good actors, they will improve the written word. So you don't get mistakes. You don't get human error or human unpredictability. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm hesitant. I've come to terms with the fact that yes, we can do all these things with it, but will it be good or corporatized and generic and gentrified? I don't know.
Yeah. On the other hand, we're all for indie filmmakers using it, because they just don't have the budget to be able to hire an entire staff. But at the same time, they have to deal with the repercussions of, not having that perfect image, or not having, of just having resorted to using AI for their own projects. So there's still a give and take there.
All right, let's go to comments here.
Bradley Knees for 10. How long has it been since you could go to a movie instead of because of it?
And cry with it instead of because you're dropping out, Alan.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah. And cry with it instead of because of it. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'll tell you a movie I cried at recently, Super/Man, about Christopher Reeve. We'll talk about it later in the show, but dude, bring tissues or bring a handkerchief.
Let's see, Sean Z. My birthday is Sunday, guys. Happy birthday, Sean.
Happy birthday, Sean Z.
Yeah. And for your birthday, you gave us a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Sean Z. Appreciate you.
I bet it was a cake. Daniel Ikaza. The Avatar films make great screensavers. Yes, they do. Solomon Thornton. There will be people that will accept AI, and some of it won't. It's all about using it wisely.
I think if you use AI as a tool, not a replacement, a tool to achieve an effect or something, like, I don't have a problem with that, but you need a human to tell it what to do, like a human to tell Photoshop how to render an image. It's as simple as that.
Well, the other thing is we know as an audience what's CG and what's real. We're going to know what's AI and what's real. Or what's CG. Right. David Ortega, I don't think Cameron is suggesting replacing filmmaking with AI. It's more about making CGI more available. Its tools will tell stories. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go.
And lastly, from Pilgrim Media for 2, Mr. Ing, turn and drop out. Yes.
Thanks, Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right, pivoting here. We got to pivot. We got to pivot for a second because I got something to talk about here. Wait, who is this?
Mr. Gore, we will definitely do this for you. Go ahead, Camilla.
Ellen. And don't forget to get out and vote.
Dad, why did you do that?
I'm
don't
just glad
understand.
an Asian is saying my name.
There you go. All right. Sorry, I'm resetting here. I can't. Okay. Recently it was Batman Day, and I got something to say.
A freaking IKEA chair.
Batman Day was September 17th. People were celebrating. I saw all on social media. And a Batman Day, I love seeing all the love come out for Alan and Batman. But for me, it was a Tuesday. It was just whatever. Batman Day for me is every day. Batman is, along with some of my other beloved franchises, one of my favorite characters. Read so many of the comics, grew up seeing the TV show, and I own a lot of Batman stuff. A lot of it practical. Like the caps that go on the tire stems for my car have Batman logos on them. If there is an option to get a Batman spatula or just a regular spatula, I get the Batman spatula. Well, I got to say something. I've gone too far. I recently made a Batman purchase that I regret. This has never happened in my life. And I got to talk about it. I'm going to put myself full screen here. I went ahead and got these.
Oh.
They are the ugliest. These are, I did it. Look at this. They're Crocs. Batman Crocs. Believe me, I still have this tag on them. And I'll just say this. I tried them on. I feel stupid. I made a mistake. I regret it. I'm wearing right now cheap Temu sandals that cost $8. They're just as comfortable as these cost over $100.
Oh my God.
What did I do? I have bought so many Batman things in my life. I think I will be returning these. I don't like them. They're not comfortable. They're ugly. They're ugly. Folks, they're ugly. I've gone too far. I don't need to have Batman everything. Pass. Hard pass. Alan, what are your thoughts on Batman Day?
Yeah, you need a girlfriend desperately.
I need one to keep me from bad choices.
I know.
I need someone to say, you know what? Maybe take a pass on that. You're right. I do.
Not only are they ugly Crocs, but it's an ugly Batmobile.
Right. So, you know what? That's all I'm saying. It's a little personal news. Look, I guarantee you, Lori, they're not your size. They're a size 11. So, but I can return them. That's the only way I would buy them is if I could return them.
Where'd you buy them, by the way?
Amazon.
Okay.
So, I don't know. All right, let's go to. There are some things I don't need. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try. I've heard about these things forever. I look so stupid. Not that I don't look stupid in my Temu sandals. I'll show you the Temu sandals right now. They're so comfortable. This is it. They're gray. They're soft. I wear them. I got indoor ones and outdoor ones. That's it. Yes, no, that's very Asian. I have indoor sandals and outdoor sandals.
Even I haven't stooped that low.
What's that?
I have Temu sandals.
They're cheap. Anyways, all right. So I'm done. I've reached the bottom of the Batman barrel. So there you go.
No, I feel like you could go lower.
Yeah. Let's go to your comments here.
All right. The Raven and the Writing Desk, member for 16 months. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for that.
Bradley Knees. Chris, walk on the wall right now.
No.
Grab a rope and walk on the wall. Thomas Baker for 2. I see where my super chat money is going. Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's going to return it. So just know your super chat money will go to good use from now on. G-Man for 5. Those Batman Crocs strike fear in the hearts of average men. Or at least geeks and nerds for Harris Walls.
Right.
Lord, Mr. Chris Gore, have you been talking to Jeremy D-Day Cobra?
I do talk to him on occasion.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to send it to him, I'm sure he'll wear those. Jabberwock 28, Bat Underoos.
By the way, wait. I have Batman underwear.
Yes.
And socks and many t-shirts.
Yeah. All right. I think we didn't get to that last one. The one that you just unstarred.
That's okay.
Sorry, this is what happens. Larry says it's Killer Croc. It's Killer Croc. Robin, get me my anti-Croc bat Crocs.
Your dyslexia is showing there. It's all good.
I've been up. I've not had enough sleep tonight.
Yes, I know why. I know why too.
Why?
Because you've been working on the D file.
Yeah. I woke up at 3 o'clock. Couldn't sleep, and I go, I need to research the D files, and I did for 2 hours. And then I wrote it this morning. Jamie for 199. Shoe Talk. Can we get a palate cleanser? And CK Timmy, Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers will pay double for them. Yeah, you might make a profit. Greg McManus, keep you from bad choices. Girlfriends often cause bad choices. Well, I think a girlfriend would have prevented this one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right. We have a video to show. There was a recent video that surfaced called Geeks and Nerds for Harris Live Organizing Call. I'm going to play a song from it, a clip that's very short. We'll play the song, but I want to tell a story. I saw the movie Megalopolis in a theater. It was a special screening event, and they showed a live 30-minute Q&A that preceded the movie with Francis Ford Coppola, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, by the way, who's not in the movie, and Spike Lee, who's not in the movie or had anything to do with the movie. But they did a panel. It was interesting. Coppola talked about his intention behind the film, whatever, and unprovoked, out of the blue, Robert De Niro says, you got to get out and vote. You got to register. We got to get rid of Trump. And then Spike Lee echoed, it was so cringe. I came to see Megalopolis. I did not want to get lectured again by celebrities that are ill-informed. I don't care. You know what? I don't want people on the right lecturing me that are celebrities. I don't want people on the left lecturing me. I want to go to the movies. If I'm tuning into a podcast, I get it. I made that choice. But I was going to see Megalopolis. I want to see one of the greatest filmmakers who ever lived, Coppola, who's made some classics. We'll talk about Megalopolis in a bit. But the whole thing turned into a lecture. And then Coppola was clearly in the middle. Not a divider, he's a uniter. He said, look, I went to the same military school as Trump. And in this movie, I have people that are on the right and the left. I brought in people who are canceled, like John Voight. And he talked about how he wanted to bring everyone together for this movie. So Coppola clearly didn't provoke the conversation, but tried to bring it back to, hey, we all need to. And he said his overriding theme, the Q&A was better than the movie, by the way.
Oh,
But
no.
Coppola said he says we can solve any problem if we all come together. Whereas Spike Lee and De Niro were trying to muddy up the whole thing by giving a lecture to vote for one side. Then this video surfaced. This was yesterday. Geeks and Nerds for Harris live organizing call. And I'm going to play just some of this. Linda Carter is in this. Lots of people from Star Trek. But here's a song. I'm only going to play like a minute or so because this is so hard to watch. Are you ready, Alan?
Yes.
Let me share this. So this just really gave me pause. So here, Linda Carter, by the way, I don't care how old she is. She looks good to me.
But that voice.
The voice is a little raspy.
Very granny, the voice.
But here, let's do this.
Vote. So this next performer knows a thing or two about variety shows. You may remember him fondly from the Brack Show. Please give a warm welcome to the iconic, the super duper, the amazing and fabulous, iconic.
Hold on.
What I said. I take back what I said. Now, you know what? Upon further review, I take it back.
Yes.
Was that? Wait. What was that?
Dude, play that again, please.
What did I just see?
Right now, tuning in here, right here with us to learn how you can get out there for good. You know, it is that. It is you. It is being outside of, it's outside here, and it's being in the street, and it's talking to people, and it's getting to vote, and it's listening, taking your precious time, your precious. I just can't get over it. I get to talk to you. I can't get over it.
Well, thank you so much for having
You're welcome.
me in the heart of my bottom. Thank you to the 15,000 people that followed on Twitter. So here, I'm singing a song. So take your medicine. Okay, here we go. You'd think we know the difference between good and bad. Too many are willingly bamboozled, and it's sad. Do I want my favorite toy or a bag of broken glass? Some will choose the glass because of the chokehold on air. But so we gotta choose joy and not hate. If we made that choice together, it'd be great. Let's stand up and get the let out to control our fate. Gotta choose joy and not hate. Gotta choose joy and not hate.
I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. This is a torture. I don't know. This is awful. Alan, what are your thoughts?
I mean, first thing that comes to mind is I have to remind myself that all of Wonder Woman's lines were written by someone else.
Right. She was reading that.
Look, I get it. We're in the divided times. People, you know, this is not new. People are taking sides and you know, digging trenches here. But I don't know what happens to the left when they get really angry. They become less and less funny. And I watched the first hour of that thing, and it was just cringe. You know, people try. I don't know. Look, Linda Carter. You know, she may be a geek and nerd icon, but she's not a geek nor a nerd. And that's the thing that I kept reminding myself watching this is that, you know, we're the geeks and the nerds are the ones who consume what they do, but they're not really us. And that's the sad thing about all this, and the frustrating thing about it, realizing that the stuff we love is in the hands of these people. And you know, it's what we've been talking about for months, if not for the last 2 years. That our stuff has been taken over.
Well, bottom line, I don't want to be lectured by anyone that's in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're going to talk about something that relates to the project you're discussing, which Coppola did do in his Megalopolis.
Yeah.
He tried to keep it on the movie and the theme of the movie and not like the thing happening out in the world. So he did the best he could. I give him credit for that. The movie, another story, but I just respect celebrities more when they allow the audience to think for themselves rather than lecture. And I do grow tired of the constant lecturing, threat to democracy. Look, we are living in very difficult times. We need to be united in solving problems and get away from this mentality of my team and their team. Stop it. It's out of control. And we've seen things happening in the real world that are directly from rhetoric. You know what I'm talking about. Please. This is, I literally, I cannot despise the celebrities that partake in this enough. I'm done. And at Megalopolis, I sat there and half the audience clapped when they said, yeah, get out and vote. We got to vote for Kamala. They half the audience clapped. Half the audience were quiet. You know what I did? I said, fuck, because I was so done. No one in my row clapped. We just sat there going, okay. No. But half the audience did. I'm really, so it was really like that pushed me over. And then I heard about this. Wow, what a mess.
Yeah. You know, the thing is that celebrities, they don't know our lives. They don't know what it's like to live like us anymore. You know, their lives are pretty good. They're not living in the parts of LA that we're living in. You know, just the fact that they feel entitled and emboldened to think that we'll listen to whatever they say because they're on our favorite shows, or hey, that's Luke Skywalker. Of course, we'll listen to Luke Skywalker. It's entitlement at its worst, and it frustrates me just to see them lean into it more and more than they have today than they have in years past.
Yeah, well, it just really turned me off, and I don't think celebrities realize the damage they've done to the industry from this kind of pushing so hard. What happened to the people that just question things like myself? Why is that not the default setting? You know,
well, they're not even presenting any kind of argument. It's you know, it seems like it's just Harris will make everything better. Trump will make everything bad. That's the one message.
Yeah. Let's go to your comments here.
All right. Go and Shogi for $4.99. There's no better shoe for taking out the trash or grabbing something from the car. Stop the Croc hate.
Well, here they are right here. Crocs.
Because it's a shoe and a car.
Yeah.
Torgo the White, a member for 7 months. I'm going crazy here. Was your stroke like the one Carter just had, Chris?
No, not that bad.
The CD sign 69 for $4.99. What the hell happened to? She sounds like Granny Clampett on acid. I blame Gary for telling Jeremy he had to watch this. J Nemo for $1.99. Frank, you owe us the plate cleanser after that.
I know what he means.
Yes,
I know what he's talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
Going Shogi for $1.99. If mental illness was a song,
I will. I'm gonna find the palate cleanser right here. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Here we are.
Are you muted at least?
It is muted.
Okay. Yeah, that
Let's go. This is the one right here.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So keep reading super chats here.
Yes, we got this to go to Shogi. If mental illness was a song, from T Neil 89, aka dislikes puns for 5. Take it off the screen, Chris, please. Someone contact the Hague, since I'm pretty sure this constitutes a war crime. This doesn't, though. Epic guests for 2. Chekhov is still holding his ear and screaming. Bradley Knees for 2. It's turn us all off. It turns us all off, Chris. There we go.
Look, I'm making up for it now.
I know. There you go. Look at that. Ooh. AA for 400 rupees. Chris, I love your show. I would love a top 20 comedy movie of all time from you. Everyone just use some joy. Hail Chris. Everyone could use some joy.
All right, let's name off comedies. The Mel Brooks Library.
Yeah.
You know, Silent
Blazing
Movie,
Saddles, producers.
Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, Silent Movie, Young Frankenstein, Just Go, Space
Airplane, Naked Gun,
yes,
Top Secret,
the Zucker Brothers,
Hot Shots.
Yeah, all of that. What else? Stripes, Bill Murray, Stripes,
Love
Cheech and
Ghostbusters.
Chong, Cheech and Chong movies, National Lampoon's Animal House.
Yeah, and Vacation.
What else, Alan?
Oh yeah, Marx Brothers, Duck Soup, Animal Crackers.
Three Stooges, the whole Three Stooges library. Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, Rabbit Season, Duck Season. Never.
Oh my God. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
All right. More comments here. Thank you for that. I hope that helps. That's about over 20.
Yeah, from Rumble, Eric, John, Pizza, Artist for 2. There's so many great causes worthy of their time and attention, but they're consumed by politics. Start a charity to feed the hungry. Nobody will have a problem with it. Look,
exactly. If
your government works, you don't need charity anymore, and that's what they're going for. David Ortega saw Megalopolis Monday in Orange. The whole room was either groaning or laughing at De Niro. Coppola was a class act, but his movie was a mess.
Well, that is true. We will get to it. I can't wait till Alan has seen it. So there you go. All right. We're going to get, unfortunately, we have to get to the D files. Got to get to the D files, Alan.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Do you have a link to share?
Yeah.
You have a link to share?
I do. It's in the doc. But
do you want me to do it, or do you do it?
I'll do it. I may need a better header.
No, do you want me to do it? I'll do it. And then you can read it from your thing. Sorry, folks.
You don't like my font. That's what you're saying.
No. You can read it on your screen. I'll share it.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right.
We got to reset here.
Yeah, by video. Okay.
Unfortunately.
So this is kind of this is a one.
Wait. We gotta do one thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what we gotta do?
Yes, I do. Do it.
Alan, it's time for a new D Files. The D Files returns with new revelations. Alan was up at 3 a.m. working on this story. Is it on the front page of Film Threat right now?
It is on the front page of Film Threat.
It's on the front page of Film Threat. Oh, you can subscribe to our newsletter. Here,
yeah.
Let me but here we are. This is the D Files, the Untitled 2024 Disney animated feature. You got new information about this. Alan, can you tell us about it?
Yes. So just to catch everyone up, Jennifer Lee is gone. She is stepped down as the chief creative officer at the Walt Disney Animation. She has resigned herself to write and direct Frozen's 3 and 4. And I set that up because basically I want to build upon the devastation she has created since her time there. When she got on board, she was essentially a DEI hire. She was a woman who was hired to take the place of John Lasseter because someone had requested that. She had then gone in and decided to clean house by basically her goal was to bring 50-50 equity, male, female animators. The problem is that there weren't enough female animators to bring it to 50-50. So she went to Tumblr to recruit people who were not experienced. And at the same time, she made life so miserable for the old white guys that they left. And here, I'll show you an example of that. If you want to scroll down to just the variety image, that's just down a bit. So when Jennifer Lee came on, this news item came out in 2019. Walt Disney Animation names directors for 4 new film projects. These animators these directors. 2 of them come from within the company, 2 of them come without. On the left there is Carlos Lopez Estrada, who directed Raya and the Last Dragon, and they promised him a movie. Then we have Josie Trinidad here, who is a head of story for Zootopia. We have Susie Younessi, who is an Iranian-American filmmaker. She's made films, and they brought her on to tell a story. And then finally, there's Mark Smith, who's been working at Disney for a while, the only white guy in this. And the reason I bring this up is because what happened within the Walt Disney Company is that when you work for this company, when you've worked for this company for decades and dedicated yourself to excellence and quality, the idea is that you hope that one day you're going to get the opportunity. You're going to be able to reach the brass ring and make your own Disney feature. And so when Jennifer Lee came in, she took the brass ring away and gave it to newcomers, to people who know nothing about animation. And what that did was, it gave this realization to all the animators, the veteran animators, that their services are not really required, and that this dream you may have had of heading a Disney feature film is gone. And what happened what that did was it began the slow exodus of the old white guys, the veteran animators, and they began going to the competition, particularly Skydance, which is a whole different story. So what happened here with Disney, if you want to scroll down further, a year ago, before Wish came out, Disney had published, go to the chart right there. Disney had published the upcoming films for 2024. So we're talking about October, November of last year. First Omen, Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, Young Woman in the Sea, Inside Out, Untitled Deadpool movie, Alien movie, Untitled Disney movie, The Amateur, which is not coming out, Untitled, and then Mufasa. And what I wanted to focus here on is the Untitled Disney animation set for November 27th. Mind you, this is October, November of last year. Mm-hmm. Untitled Disney animation. So we don't know what that is. Next year, at the end of the first quarter, Disney needs to put out a report because he's in a proxy war with Nelson Peltz. And they say, guess what? We're going to, the Untitled feature Disney animation is going to be Moana 2. In fact, Moana 2 has been in development in Vancouver, in the Disney studio in Vancouver, not in America. And in fact, they had been working on a TV show for Moana, and they decided that they're going to take that TV show and turn it into a movie. And so that's their Untitled Disney animation, except that was not the Untitled animation. There was an actual project that was being worked on. And that project was being directed by one of the 4 I just mentioned there. It was Susie Younessi. And she, since her hiring, had been developing basically her own Disney princess, which is based on an Iranian fairy tale that her grandmother used to tell her. In fact, let me see. I'm going to go to the second page here, and
should I move? Should I go to the second page?
You don't have to do that. Okay. So let's see. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm reading from an article. Basically, it's a book that came out called Disney Princesses Under the Tiara. And in that book, the author highlights.
Didn't I give you that book?
You did give me that book.
Oh.
And in that book is a story about Susie Yanesi, who's about to bring Iranian Persian culture to Disney. She talks about Jasmine here. Jasmine gave me a moment of such pride in my heritage and my culture, Yanesi says, and especially from being from upstate New York in the suburbs of Buffalo, where there was city. It showed me that there was a whole world out there that was filled with all these different shades of brown. That for me was a definite moment in terms of the princess and their power. The Disney princesses were like superheroes. And then she talks about being given the chance to tell a Persian tale from a fairy tale. And in a different statement that she made, she talks about this fairy tale, her grandmother's fairy tale, having mythical lakes, talking cockroaches, and deserts that stretch beyond the imagination. And so this is a project that they have been working on. Now, here's the thing. So what we found out was that this project was under heavy development. In fact, by the time Wish came out, it was basically at the go, no-go for a Disney animated film. And all this time, it had gone all the way to this point, and ultimately it was a no-go. They not only paused the project, they canceled the project. And what's amazing here is, have you heard this story, Chris?
I haven't. Well, I know the story about Moana,
Right?
Animated series turning into a feature.
Yeah, but you don't
I
know about
this. This is I
yeah.
don't know about this.
Yeah, that's the thing is they canceled the project for whatever reason. And on top of that, Disney, because they canceled the project, there were literally only 2 projects coming out of the Walt Disney Company for this year. And that was Young Woman in the Sea and Mufasa. And they needed a third because they needed to appease shareholders during their earnings call. And that's when Moana 2 came out. And you could say that maybe they're just putting it on hold for a while. Because Disney has a tradition of that, where a project just doesn't go anywhere, and they shift courses. So Aladdin was that way. Emperor's New Groove shifted courses. The Good Dinosaur shifted courses. But in this one, it doesn't seem like they're shifting courses, because if it was a matter of retooling things, they would have easily have gone to D23 and said, in 2025, we have a brave new tale of Persian culture, and here's Susie Yanesi, who's going to lead us to that, and then give us a future date and create some kind of excitement behind it. But no, it was deadly silent. And what sources that I've talked to have basically told me was they were amazed that this story never got out, that no one knows anything about this, and that and I find it also interesting that Disney is kind of on the forefront of diversity. Not only did they shut down a project for the Persian people, but they buried it. They Batgirled it without anyone ever knowing it.
So this would be an Iranian fairy tale.
A Persian. That's
Persian. Do you think maybe the current political climate maybe led to it, or was it the quality? What did you learn?
Okay, so I mentioned they could have promoted D23. They could have also blamed it on the strikes,
right?
But they didn't. They buried it. I think there's a lot to it there. So I'll say this from what people look. This is the part where I know nothing, where I don't know what exactly happened, but we can certainly speculate. And I think possibly that because it was a Persian tale and because of what's going on now, especially with a certain country and another certain country, that they may have buried it. The other thing is, they brought in someone who didn't know anything about animation. They brought in someone, a successful filmmaker who doesn't know about animation, and not realizing that making a live action feature and making an animated film are 2 completely different things, and that there may have also been conflicts in that area as well. And I'll say this: it's at this point, it's all conjecture unless someone actually knows and reaches out to us.
Well, if you know anything more about this project, reach out to us.
Yeah. But I think what surprised, again, I think the conclusion to this is one, DEI is going to destroy your company. You had a line of people who had been, prepared to take on the mantle of a Disney feature film, and they were cast aside. And now you bring in people who don't know anything about animation, but you hired them solely because of their skin color, their race, and their gender. And, and it comes down to this. And, we'll see. We'll see with Jennifer Lee stepping down, Jared Bush now in her place. It seems like things are changing, but from what I understand, Jared Bush is not exactly, Pete Docter in this situation. He may continue things as they are. So we'll see.
All right, let's go to your comments, starting with Super is here.
Okay. Rolling the retro for 10, Mr. Gore Crocs. Are you spending too much time with Gary and Jeremy and they are slowly turning you gay? You realize they are ousted for causing Disney to release The Acolyte and Agatha.
Thank you, Roland the Wretched. Good to hear from you. By the way, there's a link to the story in the description for this show, a link for the video. So,
and if you just go to filmthread.com, it's right there on the front page.
Yeah. And I knew Atomic Lori convinced me I should get the Batman Croc. I regret my decision.
Why do you keep blaming other people for your decisions? Albert, not a retro for 5 Canadian. Best motto is the 20-minute workout played by Cindy the roommate in the first Terminator film. Not aerobic, the 20-minute workout.
Love workout videos.
James or shooting.
Go see The Substance. Pump it up. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And if you want to see, never mind. James Raschuti, aka Gen X Fed, for 20. Chad, I've been told that Film Threat featuring Chris Gore and Alan Ng on Hump Day is the gayest show on YouTube. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. It is the gayest show on YouTube.
You got to extend that. The gayest.
It's
show.
Okay. Would you agree that this show is the gayest show on YouTube?
No, it's the gayest.
The gayest show.
Yeah, there you
go. Oh my God.
Wedge for 2. Hey, here's the money. Me go now. Bye bye, human.
Well, thank you for that, Wedge.
All right, ADL is 50% of men they hired were 100% gay. Blue Frog AI. When are we going to have the Double D files? Yeah, about the fake boobs in The Substance.
True.
A troll. Yeah, roaches kind of aren't appealing to the general people, in my opinion. Sounds more like they killed the project. Yes.
That's
the
did.
sense you get. Darth Maul. They pulled the Persian rug out from under them. And Suns and Shadows. They stuck their head in the sand on this flick. Hey, someone had to say it.
So there you go.
All right.
Great. All right. Let's pivot. We've got a few. We got some other news stories here. Let's get to that. Right here. Let's see. I'll get the link. If you want to bring the link up, Alan.
Yeah. I'm hiding. Whoops.
All right. I found it. Okay.
Usually I try to make them clickable.
Variety. Here we go. Francis Ford Coppola's $120 million budgeted Megalopolis could open to a disappointing $5 million. You know what other movie made $5 million? Am I racist? I'm being serious. And that movie was about half of that was the budget.
Yeah, I believe it was maybe over $1 million, from $1 million to $2 million.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola's sci-fi epic Megalopolis, the director's self-funded passion project, is tracking to a disappointing 5 to 7 million box office debut. The film, released by Lionsgate, is expected to play in 1,700 North American theaters in its opening weekend. A single-digit start would be underwhelming for a movie that cost above $100 million to produce. Coppola has a lot riding on it because the 85-year-old Godfather and Apocalypse Now director ended up independently financing the film for $120 million. After its Cannes film release, Lionsgate agreed to release and market the movie in exchange for a distribution fee.
Basically, well, I learned from the Q&A for this that he financed it by basically selling off a lot of his wine business.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Coppola made more money on his wine business than all of his movies. So that brand just really hit people. So, and I also learned during the Q&A that, you know who owns Apocalypse Now? He does. It has no distributor. He owns the movie.
Wow.
So, and I've bought it before on Blu-ray and all that, but just he has the rights to Apocalypse Now. I don't think he personally needs the money, but basically this is going to be one of the biggest flops of the year. I'm telling you right now. It's poised to do very poorly. And I mean, I don't know. Even the trailer, you can't tell much of what it's about from the trailer.
Yeah,
Alan, you haven't seen it.
The trailer is too weird for general audiences. I'll put it that way. There's nothing in the trailer that will say, "Hey, what are we going to do this Friday night? Let's go see Megalopolis." You know, it's very much an art film and very much directed toward fans of not only Francis Ford Coppola but any one person in the cast. Did you get a sense that during the Q&A that he realized what's happening?
No. He was proud. He was excited. He talked about showing Spike Lee the first hour of the movie. I don't know what the running time is. I know it's about 2.5 hours, over 2 hours for sure. But my God, this will be in history, not something that ages well. Whereas I think that Apocalypse Now aged well. Apocalypse Now, looking back, there's so much amazing about that movie that, even when I first saw it, I didn't get the last third of the film, the third act with Brando was kind of middling, but leading up to that, it's epic. Apocalypse Now, epic.
Well, and Godfather, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Godfather. But Megalopolis has none of that. Zero. It felt like they made it up while they were making it. Like, why don't you try this? Say that. How about if I do this? All over the place.
It feels like his reflections on the world.
Yes.
A personal journal.
It's like an essay he would write about futurism and city design in the New York Times or something. A guest, op-ed or something. But as a movie, I if it's opening with 5 million in 1,700 theaters, that's a certified flop.
Yeah. And I would bet you that Lionsgate is going to get a lot of that money up front if they haven't.
Well,
because
by the way, that they charge a fee. It's basically a service deal.
Yeah.
So they pay Lionsgate to put the movie out and market it. So Lionsgate is fine. They didn't finance the movie. They lose nothing. They put their branding on the beginning. They put out posters, trailers. Yeah. They do a basic release the film. But I mean, this is disaster.
Yeah. I mean, my point is Lionsgate has been taking a lot of L's this year. Maybe they have 2 hits.
Well, you have to look at, making the movie and distributing the movie, two different things. Okay. So Lionsgate is in the clear on this. I don't know what the deal is with The Crow
or Borderland.
Right. Or Borderlands. Like who funded those projects? That's where you got to track the money. But with this, it was Coppola sold off part of his wine business. And it's you could call it his folly at this point.
Yeah. I mean, if you have that kind of money, go make your movie. Why not? Don't let anyone tell you what you need to do. Just make your movie. At least that's what you can say about it. He can't whine and moan about the studios getting involved like his other films. This is his, and he's got to take responsibility for what's up on the screen, or he is taking responsibility for what's up on the screen.
Let's go to your comments and questions. And here, Alan, I need a quick break.
Sure. Toronto John, for the gayest voice, just think of the Charlie in the Box toy on the Island of Misfit Toys as seen in Rankin Bass's production of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Charlie in the Box. Remember that? Remember, I want to be a dentist.
Thank you. Killick69, told you it is DOA. Yeah, I have to say it. Tom Siebert. Hey, Tom, I had braced myself for Megalopolis mediocrity, but if it is not even worth seeing, that's going to be super depressing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm not excited to seeing it tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. Lord Cornett, cue the epic fail horn. J Nemo Megalopolis. Yeah. Matthew Hammond, member for 6 months. John Milius did not write Megalopolis. No, Francis Ford Coppola wrote Megalopolis. James Woolard, member for 10 months. Thank you for your support. Jacob Wolf for $2. Is it worth the LA IMAX ticket price? I should wait for Chris for that one. Unless he can yell it. I unfortunately am not seeing it in IMAX. Suns and Shadows. Lionsgate has been taking L's for marketing and filmmaking all year. Not a brand that evokes inspiration. I mean, look, you can hire them for your marketing services. It's not their issues. It's the film that they took on. They got paid. It's just the movies they've been making. I cannot think of a winning Lionsgate movie so far from this year. Let's see, Laura, if you want to pull up some more super chats. I'm trying to see if we get the Lionsgate. Oh yeah, so is it worth seeing it and paying the IMAX price? Chris?
I don't know. I would say it's basically you're going for curiosity's sake at this point, because as a story, it's a mess. We'll get to it.
Okay.
All right, let's pivot here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I don't think Lionsgate has a hit since Hunger Games.
Since Hunger Games last year is what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, some of these are small films. Ordinary Angels, Imaginary is one of theirs. But you look at Ungentlemanly Warfare, Boy Kills World, those all just kind of sputtered at the box office. Unsung Hero, I really liked. One of their faith films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You got it?
So no, I'm just looking at other things.
Yeah, they did John Wick. 1992. No one saw 1992. The Crow is horrible. The Strangers they did. I don't know. Lionsgate is just not. It's not their year. And it seems like they put out a lot more movies this year than they have in the past.
Yeah, it is not their year. So, all right. we have several new news stories to get to that I want to discuss. We're going to do all reviews on Friday.
Okay.
Because I want to discuss Megalopolis after you've seen it.
Okay.
Okay? After.
Okay.
So we'll do that. So we're changing our plans slightly here today, but that's okay. So let's do this. Gavin Newsom. I'm not a fan. I don't think that he really is keeping the needs of the people in mind. And he represents probably the worst of elites among politicians. Not a fan. And I've seen how his policies have affected my adopted state, because I'm from Michigan. A little more common sense there. I don't know about lately, but I've seen this state go from the once great state of California to what it is today, a state in decline. And very quickly signed 2 AI protection bills. What was this about?
All right. So Gavin Newsom signed 2 bills last Tuesday that will protect performers' likenesses from being replicated by AI. Let's see. I'm just going down to here. So Fran Drescher, he signed it at SAG-AFTRA. Newsom says, "We continue to wade through the uncharted territory when it comes to how AI and digital media is transforming the entertainment industry. But our North Star has always been to protect workers. This legislation ensures the industry will continue thriving while strengthening protections for workers and how their likenesses can or cannot be used. In this momentous day for SAG-AFTRA members and everyone else, because the AI protections were fought so hard for last year, are now expanding upon by California law, thanks to the legislature and Governor Gavin Newsom," Fran Drescher said. They say, as California goes, so goes the nation. The first bill, AB 2602, requires contracts to specify the use of AI-generated digital replicas of a performer's voice or likeness, and the performer must be professionally represented in negotiating the contract. Let's see. While the bill is informed by negotiations during the historic strike, AB 26 shows how California can strike the right balance between AI innovation and protecting workers in the digital age. The second bill prohibits the commercial use of digital replicas of deceased performers in film, TV shows, video games, audio books, sound recordings, and more without a consent of those performers' estates. In August, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to find the political stuff, but I'm sure it's in there. But yeah, I guess the obvious question for me is, this is a California state bill, but it seems like the ramifications are nationwide. That this seems to be more something that the federal government should be handling and not California.
Well, this part of this, it depends on how the bill is used. First of all, 2 things. How did this happen so quickly? How long was this in development? Is this bad legislation? And how will this affect memes on the internet, more importantly?
Yeah. Well, we saw it when that authentic Kamala Harris political statement came out, or political video came out. Newsom was like all over that, like white on rice. And that's how fast this came through. But as Elon says, it's all parody, and parody is protected. And it still baffles me how, I don't know. You say how much you hate. You say how much you dislike Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
It's stuff like this. He's just reacting, he's appeasing his base, which is basically famous actors.
Well, I have concerns that this will be an opportunity to overreach, and we're not going to get things like Well, here I'll show you what we might not get things like memes. Like here, in my notifications all the time, I get stuff like this. That's
disgusting. I am now on board with the Gavin Newsom bills.
Seriously, it's there's that. No, this is my favorite.
Oh,
this
okay.
one right here. Just
Newsom,
says
you're
Chris,
right. Says
Chris, you who?
Okay, so who can I sue here?
So look, there's a lot. Look,
Oh
there's
God.
another Alan one here. Alan, it was Alan all along. You know what? You get memed more than I do. I don't get memed that much. So you're all over the place.
Well, I think our viewers can rectify that. Chris wants to be memed. Chris wants to be memed.
No. Look, here's the problem with this. It has the potential to be used to overreach. We've heard about what's happened in the UK where people are being visited by the police over things they posted on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This could be used for that. I want politicians fixing the roads, making laws that solve problems, not creating new ones. So I don't see how this helps anyone. And as for likenesses of deceased actors, I get it. Their families should benefit. They should be licensed. That can be worked out. But I have major concerns about this going forward. Major concerns.
Yeah.
Alan?
I mean, it was that first bill that we're referring to here, where we're making sure that no one turns over their name, image, or likeness to unscrupulous people without representation. Again, that is, as he says, the attack on memes, the attack on parody. What if you make a really accurate drawing of someone? Does that fall under this? And again, I just can't imagine this will ever make it through the First Amendment, unless things change politically in the next few years.
Well, there is a court case. You can look it up. They made a movie about it. It's called The People versus Larry Flint. Jerry Falwell was parodied in an ad. It was clearly a fake ad. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And he won. He won. And much of the parody and satire, how we're able to mock public figures and politicians in particular, is because of that case. And because of the First Amendment. I am against any erosion of the First Amendment at all. Mm-hmm. Against it. So,
yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I reviewed a movie last year called Another Body, where it was basically girls who are attending MIT or one of those technical colleges. Someone went and took their faces, deep faked them, and put them in porns, and then doxed them. Put out the videos and then doxed them on it. And it's amazing to me that here's now the government acts. When you take a celebrity or a political figure, turn them into a meme, that's when Gavin Newsom acts. Not when people are actually being hurt and maligned because of AI. No, it's only when his cronies get hit. That's when they act.
I think the one good thing that's going to come from this bill, there is one good thing, and that is a lot of mocking of Gavin Newsom. Mocking and memes and videos. That will probably be the result, because as he pushes harder, the internet pushes back. Mm-hmm. So be warned. Let's go to your comments here, starting with.
Okay, Know Me Without You for 199. Chris is aging younger.
Well, it's all special effects. I push a button. It says touch up my appearance, and voila, this is what you get. So thank you, Know Me. Thank you, Know Me.
I feel like, do I have that one on? Tom is picking for 2. Newsom, the Destroyer of Worlds.
Yes, he's Galactus of California.
Okay, Ron is right. Not such a bad idea. Way of the future. Waiting for Sean Connery to make a new movie thanks to AI.
That will happen. There was a movie, it was announced, it never came out, that James Dean, they licensed the rights to James Dean to be in a new movie, and then it never happened.
I'm just gonna wait for the stories of kids, destroying their parents' reputation and legacy by licensing out their parents after they're gone. Harry Anders, I care nothing for Newsom and the signing, but whose cleavage is that behind him?
I didn't get a look.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did not get
Yeah, it's nice cleavage though. Sander Hammerslag, the dress matches your eyes, Alan.
See, there you go, something good.
Okay, Olailu Kwakwe. I think I question Alan's commitment to the sparkle motion.
Yeah, Alan, what's up with that? What's up with that? All right. We have 2 stories related to Netflix that we're going to discuss.
Okay.
So let's get to those. I will bring up the stories. Ted Sarandos says theatrical releases are inefficient. My biggest complaint about Netflix. And by the way, I'm watching the new show. This is from the Wrap. I'm watching the new show Monsters, the story of Eric and Lyle Menendez. It is phenomenal. Great show. I think of the streaming services, Netflix and Max are my favorite.
Okay, so the
things I like.
Okay, so the story you have is about viewership transparency versus.
Oh, sorry. Let me get to the other one.
The
Sorry,
Hollywood Reporter one you want.
Okay, we're sharing 2 stories related. Let's get to this one first. Sarandos calls for streaming viewership transparency. He's right. Let's do this story first.
Okay,
right
then let me
it's
grab it.
Ahead of data dump. Now, here's the thing. Netflix just posts all of their streaming data. Why? Because it's very good. But other services like Disney Plus are not as reliable, or they thread the needle by changing what the rules are of how they report it.
Yeah, and I think we were complaining a lot about this during the strikes, that all these numbers were being hidden, but makes you wonder also, if Netflix wasn't at the top of the heap, would he be saying this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos is calling on the company's streaming competitors to be more transparent when it comes to releasing their viewership data. This is that is kind of an answer to the folks who are saying, hey, I don't really get to see how my stuff does, how my stuff does. And I agree. So the idea is that the numbers is out there so that the talent can see it, so that the agents can see it, so that the press can see it and know what's a hit, what's a miss. On Thursday, the streamer will release viewership figures for its top shows as part of its biannual data dump. Sarandos said the company saw 94 billion hours of Netflix watching the first half of the year, an increase from the previous report. It will demonstrate that the biggest movies of the year and that the biggest movies of the year are these movies that are made for Netflix.
Now, let me read that. The biggest movies of the year are these movies that are made for Netflix and only playing on Netflix. Basically, he's saying that without calling out, he doesn't call out anyone specifically. These other services are not transparent in their numbers. So how do you compare anything? This is why it matters. Because how well something does contributes to what you get paid. If you're in a hit streaming show, you should get paid more money when you go do something else. If there's nothing to compare, how do you know? Right?
Yep. And it's also, the whole, not to bring up the Acolyte again, but when people are calling for the renewal second season of The Acolyte. The reasons are clear why it's not going to happen. It's because no one saw it. And unless you share those numbers, they're just going to continue to call us racist, homophobes, and everything.
In particular, the numbers that are shared by Disney Plus are skewed to make it look like it's a hit. So there's no way to they don't use the same standards, right? They say, oh, it outperformed that from the last one, or it's great on a Tuesday.
Or is the highest seen premiere for 2024.
Yeah, what does that mean? It doesn't tell you. That's why Netflix has been very good about that. And he goes on to say, this is related, that theatrical releases are inefficient. What's funny is I got confused. Both stories use the same photo of Ted Sarandos. Yeah. So let me switch to the other story.
Okay.
That's the same picture. It's funny. So here we go, right here.
Yeah. I mean, this story goes to everyone keeps saying Netflix needs to produce their shows theatrically, needs to send it out theatrical. And I have, for years, I've asked them, I've been told, I spoke to a high profile director who is a little bit frustrated by this as well, but Netflix just will not do theatrical. They absolutely will not do it. They'll run it at the Egyptian for a few weeks, but that's about it. So I'll just get to the meat of the matter here. Sarandos says, choice and control are key in the streaming age. The exec argued in discussing business and creative strategy, calling the ongoing change important for the company and industry. We had two big competitors, piracy and Netflix's own DVD business. He recalled of the earlier days of Netflix, calling it a painful split when the firm gave up its DVD business. He cited Steve Jobs as saying, cannibalizing one's own business is key to continued progress. Today, our members can watch a world of entertainment for a fraction of the price of a box set of The Sopranos in 2007. And they don't have to wait 2 months for all the episodes of a show to come out or for a film to finish its theatrical run, Sarandos said. Audiences don't care about windows at all. He also said that the industry's need for constant change. They never talk about it over dinner. The streamers also doesn't feel the business needs to recoup film investments in cinema, the exec explained. It's unique to Netflix that we have enough scale. We can uniquely spend $200 million on a film and have enough scale of viewership to put it directly on Netflix without trying to recoup some of the economics in the theater, which I think is a fairly inefficient way to distribute a movie.
Yeah, well, look, Netflix, they don't care. They bought the Egyptian theater as a way to feature their movies, but they're not in the theatrical business. But I think the reason people are upset is the quality of some of the projects is exceptional, right? Mm-hmm. It can't be argued. This new Monsters series is fantastic. I just watched it. And I thought it was amazing. I have a couple more episodes to go, but wow, I remember the Eric and Lyle Menendez case. One of their alibis was they saw Batman '89 with Michael Keaton. They bought a ticket, but it didn't fly. So there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I've always been told about Netflix. The act of putting it in theaters. There's a pressure to recoup that expense, and he's saying, well, then let's just eliminate the expense and not go to theaters. He's
not wrong.
Yeah,
but movies have a perceived value. They are more worth seeing or worthwhile when they've had a theatrical release. Mm-hmm. Then they come to streaming or VOD, and they're like, oh, well, this was a movie that was in the theater, right?
Yeah, he also highlights, he says here, if you ever find yourself protecting the business, you're pretty much dead. And he believes the idea that we've got to constantly challenge ourselves to break and move our business forward on behalf of the consumers. again, the sense is he's doing us a favor by not putting it out in theaters. And I agree. It's weird. I get what he's saying. I get the fact that there's a huge expense and that movies that succeed make money, but more often than not, we look at Lionsgate. These movies are not, their movies are not exceeding. But at the same time, there's a culture that I think a lot of us still want to maintain and preserve. The idea of what do we do Friday night? Hey, you want to hang out? Let's go see this movie. As opposed to, hey, we'll go to your house and see it on your TV. He's right and he's wrong. I'll put it that way.
Let's go to your comments about this story, starting with Supers here.
Okay. J Forever King for $4.99. Megalopolis sounds like this generation's Cloud Atlas.
Well, there's a difference. Cloud Atlas was actually a good movie.
Was Cloud Atlas last generation or this generation?
Well, there was 2012 did that movie come out? Anyways, I quite liked Cloud Atlas. Not a perfect movie, but the story was compelling. The music is great, and I thought it was a great concept. But Megalopolis is much, sorry to say.
All right, Drake Timbershaft for $5. Yet you will never stop talking about the Acolyte, Alan. It's your burden and your curse. I don't think it's. I'm not sharing this curse alone. Let's put it that way. Anonymous Picket for $2. Now it's Netflix and chill saves a car trip.
Right. True.
All right.
Here, let's keep going. And we have one.
Yeah. Patrick Lemire still 12 to 17 billion in debt, and they're the winner. They'll get out of debt. They're on the path. Davina Duckworth, a bot's love rings of power.
It's true.
Patrick Lemire, a lot of people don't know what. Okay, a lot of people don't want to know the real numbers, like all of those activist documentaries that no one watched.
True.
Jean Michel, I signed the petition to bring back Acolyte. Let's go. And Davina Duckworth, theatrical releases are inefficient for laundering money. Yep.
That would be correct. There you go. All right. One more news story, and then we have a special guest, the director of a horror film called Succubus is joining us in about 10 minutes. But I want to talk about this. It's the Canadian Film Industry Gender and Diversity Survey. I was sent this survey, and they surveyed people in the industry and asked them some questions. I'm going to share the results of that survey with you now. This is from a company called Spindle Films Foundation. If you have the link up, Alan, you can read this preamble, and then we will go to the stats.
All right. Spindle Film Foundation is releasing the results of our inaugural research report highlighting the current state of the trans, non-binary, and gender diverse experience in the Canadian film industry. Conducted from mid-2023 through 2024. The research survey was developed by Javelin Laurence, Director of Research, Education, and Accessibility at Spindle Films Foundation, with input from the founding members of the foundation and support from Skipping Stones in Calgary, Alberta, having surveyed members of the transgender, non-binary, and gender-diverse communities working with the Canadian Film Festival. The report shows a need and desire for more inclusion, openness, collaboration, and acceptance for not just the gender-diverse community, but for all types of diversity in Canada. Well, that really surprises me.
Yeah, well, Canada. What this is they talk to people who worked in the industry and ask them about their feelings. I'm going to get right to the charts. Alan, if you would interpret the charts, starting with these first two.
Here we go. 53% of respondents had adverse experiences related to their gender identity when they were last on set. Shameful.
And then the second one.
Okay, of those with adverse experiences, 53% adhere. We got that one. 78% rated them as a 5 or higher on a scale of 10 distress scale. Wow, it's really bad.
It's basically the complaint department, right?
Yeah.
If you ask someone, do you have any complaints? Yeah, they will have complaints. I really any survey like this that asks people about their feelings really comes with an agenda. And some of that may be fundraising for this company, the Spindle Films Foundation. Who knows? But I really think this is so, look at these charts. Very nice graphics, nice charts, meaningless because this connects to feelings. And then we go down. Here's more charts.
Oh, here's the good news. 82% of respondents had supportive experiences when they were last on set.
82%.
82. Didn't I say that?
Yes.
Okay. 34% having an advocate in a position of power on sets. These are the top supportive experiences. So for 34%, it was having an advocate in positions of power on set. For 29%, having a sense of community with other gender diverse cast and crew. And then 29% having their pronouns respected by others on set.
I think this is unscientific. And then we get this final one now. We'll just.
Okay, everybody. 63% of respondents have taken action to delay their transition or conceal their gender identity due to the risk of adverse experiences at work in the film industry.
I think this is unscientific, doesn't really mean anything. And I don't know, Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Let's think about this. But if you go on a set, what is the percentage of trans, non-binary, and gender diverse people that you run into on a set? If you have a set of 100 people, are we talking 50, 70 people? I feel like, they're interviewing maybe 5 to 10 people. You brought it up. Did you feel uncomfortable about did you have adverse experiences? Do you have problems with people finding out that you're non-binary? Again, I think my point here is that they're catering to a small number of people, and we have grown into this culture where small numbers speak the loudest, and that they have to be attended to. And thankfully, the entertainment industry is there to meet those needs, because I don't think building a freeway or paving a road, those situations are going to be any better.
Let's go to comments. You have a couple comments.
All right. Polysemina for 2 opinions on Scum 1977.
I have not seen Scum, and I apologize, but
I thought that was a gender survey.
Thank you for the £2. No.
Okay. Accident seller for 50 Norwegian krona. Cameron says the original audience that saw Terminator 2 in theaters are now either dead, retired, crippled, or have dementia. Very passive aggressive. He didn't include strokes on that list.
No, he didn't include that. All right. Halloween season is here. And I'm very excited. Why? Because horror films are back. Paranormal Activity is opening in theaters. Again, re-released. The Babadook is out in a re-release. Blumhouse has a whole program of horror films that they'll be playing through October. And indie movies are coming out with some great new films. We have the director of Succubus joining us on the show. So we'll give him a big Film Threat welcome, if you would. Dan Hanna is here, the director of Succubus. How you doing today, Dan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to have you here. Tell us about your film, Succubus.
So Succubus is the story of a guy who's going through a marital separation. Best friend convinces him to get on a dating app, and he ends up meeting a woman who seems too good to be true. And boy, does that turn out to be the case.
I've had some maybe some dating experiences like that. I don't know, could be called good, bad, whatever. But tell us about it's being released when?
So actually now in the US it is out as of yesterday. So it's out to rent on VOD and US and Canada, VOD and I was born in Canada, so I'm not trying to shortchange the Canadian side of things.
That's okay. We'll do it for you.
So yeah, out to rent VOD. You can rent or own it, and we're really, really excited about this movie and people seeing it. I think people aren't going to know what they're going to get when they get on board with it, and that's an exciting thing.
I'll tell you, I'm a fan of movie posters. The Film Thread Instagram is just a feed of movie posters because I love them, and your poster is awesome.
Thank you.
Look at this. I love it. It's a creepy hand holding a mobile device with a very attractive woman on it. Did you have a hand in the poster, so to speak?
I did. I mean, this was someone that we had hired to do some concepts, who's amazing. And this was sort of the edited, we arrived at this. She came up with the concept. And what's funny is Shout Studios also came up with the same concept, and this just ended up being the version that we liked the best out of those. But yeah, it was really cool and fun to kind of play with how much are we going to try and connect with this woman on the screen versus how much of the demon is going to recede into the background, and just kind of find that creepy, cool balance. And I just love the red. It certainly works for the movie.
Now, how did you, because we've got almost 3,000 people watching live. We will get to your chat comments and questions, but the question that comes up a lot, how did you pull together the financing and get this project off the ground?
Yeah, so the first step there was, we had a little bit of money together, enough to where we could make an offer to somebody like Ron Perlman. And so once we had Ron, it was still, it was always still an uphill climb with financing. Shout Studios came in for a portion of the budget. We had some private investors come in for a portion, and we shot in Montana, which gave us tax incentives. And I put in some of my own money into this movie. So if you want to rent it, buy it, you would be certainly helping me get closer to the black as soon as possible. But that was the big thing. Was it's kind of piecemeal, which is pretty common these days. But if you can show enough of through your work and through your script, where you could get someone like Ron to read it and like it and think, okay, I could get behind this. That's the first and I think most important step if you're trying to make a movie that is probably over 200,000, 250,000, which is also a totally respectable thing to try and do for a feature.
Well, the obvious question, how'd you get Ron Perlman, and what was it like to work with him?
I mean, I'll say first, Ron's amazing, and he's an absolute pro, a great guy, and just delivered. He had to do some stuff that could have made him look really silly, but he trusted in the process that he was going to come out looking like the cool guy that he is, and I think that's how it worked out. But yeah, it was it's we had a casting director we had brought on. There's so much stuff you have to do early on, and you kind of got to jump before you have you got a plane or a parachute or anything. We had a casting director we were working with, and he, knew one of Ron's agents, and we all thought that Ron could be great. And then according to Ron, it's he gets a script, and if he thinks it's interesting and he wants to keep turning the page, then he's going to probably be on board for it. And he said that was the experience that he had reading it.
Did you get to go party with him at all? There's a lot of craziness on the set
in Montana.
Yeah, we were pretty isolated in Montana, but what I did get to do, and I understand he's quit, but I did get to smoke a cigar with Ron, and so that's sort of a pretty classic Ron Perlman, core memory, I think, is Ron and a cigar. So getting to join in with that, have a cigar with some of the casting crew with Ron and hang out, that's pretty fun.
Well, Montana's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I've been there once. Love it. Love it. Couldn't be a better location.
Especially for this movie, which has, I think, maybe like 4 shots where you can see outside of a window and into people. But it was gorgeous being there.
Let's go to comments from everyone in our chat here. They have questions and comments. There you go. Alan, if you would read these.
Sure. From AD Ellis, you've worked extensively as an editor. Was there a reason you didn't claim the credit on Succubus? Do you enjoy collaboration in the editing suite?
Yes, and actually, on the movie credits, I actually am the 3rd editor, but I ended up taking it off of IMDb just simply for the reason that I am known, most of my credits are an editor, so I didn't want to people have the mistake that I was not the director of the movie, because sometimes the way the algorithm works, and as I'm trying to get other movies made, I want the movies I've directed and written to just show that first and foremost. But the collaboration in the editing room, I think that's really, it's where the movie becomes a movie. I don't think any part is more important or any role is more important than another on a movie, but the edit is kind of where all the pieces start to be a movie instead of some other kind of art form. And so I love the collaboration there. And Brian and Noam, we actually have a company together that's an editing company, Time Weaver, and we just work so well together. And you got to have trust in the people you work with too, and take their ideas.
All right. Bill W wants to know, is there a Succubus popcorn bucket?
So that would be pretty amazing. And there's a lot of different ways you could go with the popcorn bucket. I think on this movie that could really have sparked some controversy. And our DP does have a 3D printer, and he mentioned it at one point that maybe it's something we should do. So I don't know, if there's demand, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Merch
can actually help you pay for your next film. So
yeah.
Brock Sampson, are there any references or tie-ins to Lilith, the first Succubus known in known history?
I wouldn't say there's not really any direct references, no. But if anyone kind of can glean some, I'll happily embrace them as a happy accident.
All right, Red French Moon. Hey, Dan Hanna. Question is, was there any other title for the movie, or because Succubus is such a great word to pronounce, that it was the only one title possible?
I think you actually really nailed it, because before I even knew what a succubus was, when I first saw it, it was like the word is just so perfect for the movie. It just feels like the movie. And so when you have, and then I've been kind of, had a more not generic, but just my own idea of what this demon should be. And then when I realized, the succubus is the female incubus, it just was too good to pass up. And I could never really get behind anything else.
Yeah. Toronto John says, we need a sucker bucket.
Agreed. All right, that's 2.
All right, sorry, Chris. Okay, here we go. Suns and Shadows. Ron only required cigars and whiskey. Nods. Spider Sensei 72. How did you get Rosanna Arquette too?
So what's funny is we had 2 casting directors on the movie, because it took a long time to get made. And so Liz Barnes, our second one, originally Anne Heche was going to play that role, but Anne passed away. I'd edited a movie she was in. And we had to find someone who would be kind of equally great to replace her. And honestly, Rosanna Arquette is so cool. I never thought that she would be interested in the movie. She does such cool stuff, but she really got it. She really got the underlying themes and kind of the deeper themes of the movie. And it was really cool to, get to meet her and have lunch with her and hear that was coming through. So yeah, Rosanna was awesome. And I think she's very funny in the movie.
How many days on set did you have them?
With Ron and Rosanna?
Yeah.
It was literally like, I almost hate saying this, because Ron's part is very big in the movie. It's not like a one scene kind of thing. He's throughout the entire movie, like opens the movie, closes the movie, and throughout. But he was actually on set only a couple days, and we just like rocked and rolled all of his stuff, just shooting him. And so he arrived on set and just shot 12 hours straight through first day, at night, and just nailed it. Yeah. And Rosanna was one day. and her part's a little smaller, but also very core scenes and key scenes, as you'll discover.
All right, Sons and Shadows. How many Cuban cigars were required for payment?
It's a whole grip truck full. I mean, it was a big thing, you know.
There goes your budget. Christopher, Moonlight Productions. Do you have any marketing tips for indie filmmakers? Yes, Christopher is a indie filmmaker. So, any marketing tips?
I'm probably the one who needs the tips, honestly. But I think the big thing is really trying to get people engaged and like behind the movie, especially obviously anyone that you have on the movie that has, you know, followers and stuff like that. But I think you'd be amazed at, I think, how little sometimes it takes to you know, move the needle. And I'm still working on that and trying to discover that myself. But Brendan, the lead, and I, and Rachel, the other lead, like we're really out there kind of trying to just drum up support, you know, wherever we can. And a little goes a long way. And, you know, if you see this and you can see the movie and rate it on Amazon or IMDb or Letterboxd, these things really mean a lot. And it doesn't take that much to kind of start to change the algorithm and change the narrative away from, you know, people who are haters. Also, there's a Russian movie that changed their name in the English to Succubus, I think, to piggyback on us. So we're like fighting off their bad reviews at times, which is a little tough. Came out also 2024. So make sure if you do rate the right Succubus, you've seen the poster, that's the one. That's the one to go for. Yeah.
Okay. And then last question from Aron Sharman. Dan, were there any specific films or directors that influenced your vision for Succubus?
There's a lot of Cronenberg in this, for sure. It has a different tone than that. Somebody told me, and I think this is a great comparison. They were sort of was like, it's kind of like Cronenberg by way of Tarantino. And I think I can accept that as like a very cool compliment. And hopefully other people think that too when they get it. But, you know, it's got the Cronenberg imagery at times and the body horror, but it's a little bit more, it's got a little more humor maybe in it, or a different kind of humor, a little more Sam Raimi at times, a little more kind of Tarantino-esque characters, a little bit, you know, with Eddie. And so that's kind of what I was going for with it.
And the movie is out now on VOD?
Yes, out now on VOD as of yesterday. So we're off and running.
Well, congratulations, Dan. Thanks for coming on to tell us about your movie, and wish you luck on your next film. Come here and tell us about it, your next movie.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really like it.
Right. Take care.
You too.
Later. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a lot of fun. Last thing I want to, what?
I was going to say, we have a review of Succubus on the Film Threat website.
Well, there you go. Go to the Film Threat website. But I'll say this. Also, don't forget, filmmakers, to submit your movie to be eligible for Award This. Literally days away from the deadline. Days away. So hurry. September 30th is the deadline. We are announcing nominees. I want to say it's the first week of October. I can't give a date, but go to awardthis.com. There's info on how you can submit, or go to filmthreat.com. Click on the submission button. All films that are reviewed on filmthreat.com are eligible to be nominated in 20 plus categories. I had a meeting about the show today, the videos we're doing, and how it's going to be a very special event. We have a comedian that is hosting. I cannot divulge. We are working on the gift bag, which is, the gift bag alone is worth more than the price of admission. So we will be making more announcements about Award This. Go to awardthis.com if you're a filmmaker. And if you're not, just come to the show. The live show is amazing.
Yeah, we had a blast last year. Last year was exceptionally fun.
Last year was incredible. We got drinks, food. You get a gift bag at the end. Hopefully I won't be on stage all that much this time. But Alan, here's the thing. I wrote the script for the show, and the funniest line was something you just riffed on.
Yes.
Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I do. And yeah, I have to write my own work. That's awesome.
It was awesome. So it's basically a party where we drink, you get free stuff, you get to get a little taste. It's like going to tastings of indie movies. You get little tastes of lots of indie movies, and the filmmakers are there. You're rubbing shoulders. There's a red carpet. It's a lot of fun. So I want to remind people of it. And then, we will let you know when tickets are on sale for it. We really want you to join us. Alan and I will be there. Lots of other people will be there. Filmmakers. It scared the poop out of my butt, Alan.
Yeah, it was close. That's close, but
well, no. What was it, Alan? What was it?
Yeah, horror film scared the living poop out of me.
It was the living poop, as opposed to dead poop.
Dead poop.
What the hell are you talking about? So join us at awardthis.com. We'll be back Friday. We had way too many news stories. Friday, all reviews. No news stories. Unless the Acolyte is coming back or there's any Acolyte news. No news stories. Okay. Friday reviews. And then, Alan, you're going to the Catalina Island Film Festival.
I believe so. I believe you're going with me.
We'll see. I got to make
okay.
some things. So there you go. All right. So I want to thank our last minute super chats. Let's go.
From the Tyranator 96 DA animator, member for 7 months. My tablet arrived. Expect movies when I get my grass.
Hell yeah. Thanks for being a member.
And Aaron Charman for £10. Just a quick note to you at Film Threat. I've enjoyed many movies this year, thanks to you guys. With The Substance just being the most recent, I went into that movie blind on your recommendation.
Oh, so glad you got to see it. I only saw the trailer. That movie is on my top of the year.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have seen it if you didn't insist that I did. Red French Moon for €5. Will the oil barrel vodka be back for award this? Anyway, as always, a fun show today. Thanks, Film Threat.
Yeah, that's Neft Vodka. They'll be back as a sponsor. They had the special charcoal infused vodka soda that was amazing. So yeah, they will be back, as well as other sponsors and a lot of surprises. All I can say, we have many announcements award this. I'm saving them, but we want to make sure filmmakers get a chance. There you go. All right, that's it for us today. Thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, Lori, Atomic Lori, Glenn Nuccio. He's lurking in the back. Thank you, Glenn Nuccio. We'll be back Friday with lots of reviews. We have a lot of movies to review, right, Alan?
Yeah.
That's weird. So, yeah. And anything? Did I forget anything, Alan?
Did you? God.
I love breasts. Women look at other women's breasts. Gay men love breasts. One thing that could unite the world is breasts and cleavage. I really believe that. I truly believe in breasts.
Yeah, go see The Substance.
All right. Alan?
Let's get out of here.